Hey, what's good, y'all? This is Ryan Jackson from Ryan Jackson LLC. This is my second time doing this video. So the first time I did it, I was unscheduledly interrupted, to say the least. And it really annoyed me, but it is what it is. I hate to be annoyed doing my videos because I lose my train of thought. And so instead of continuing on and pausing, I just said, I'm gonna just do it again. The same things I said the first time I did it, I'm gonna say it again. I can kind of remember what I said the last time, but it just kind of threw me off guard. And so for those of you who had tuned in and wonder what had happened, that's what it was. So but moving on, I hope you all had a great and wonderful day. If you didn't, remember tough times don't last, but tough people do. I'm going through it right now. I didn't have such a good day this weekend. Well, I didn't have that great of a weekend, and then yesterday was tough for me, and including it into the day. So, but I'm going to follow my own advice. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Just keep your brother in your thoughts and prayers. And but I'm thankful and grateful to Allah for waking me up this morning and starting me on my way to see another day. He's the beneficent and the merciful. All praises are due to Him. And with God, everything is possible. Without Him, we need Him. He wakes us up every day, and we just got to give Him the thanks and praise, and He will see us through. He will see us through our tough times. I could definitely bear witness to that. Moving along. So what I was speaking of the first time I did this video, I started off with Eric Adams and Kamala Harris. They were at the 22nd commemoration of the 9/11 attacks there in New York at the Freedom Tower. I know many of you, I don't know if you all saw the picture or not, but there was a picture of New York City Mayor Eric Adams and Vice President Kamala Harris. They were standing next to each other, and you could just cut the tension with a knife. If looks could kill, Kamala Harris' ass would have dropped dead right then and there. He gave her a look, and Kamala Harris she ignored him. I don't think they embraced or said two words to each other the whole time. Maybe they did, but it was, you could tell that he didn't want her there. And, and 2 weeks before that, a week or two before that, he had a press conference in New York. I believe it was a press conference where he was complaining about how New York couldn't afford to house the illegal immigrants, how it was draining New York's resources. That it was just too much, and he was complaining about the Biden administration not helping New York City out. But do y'all remember? Do y'all remember last year, or actually a few months ago, Eric Adams was the same person. This was the same person that encouraged New Yorkers to open their doors, literally speaking, to open their doors to illegal immigrants, to house them in their homes. Eric Adams encouraged this. This is the very man that did it. Do y'all remember that? This was the same guy that encouraged New Yorkers to open their doors to strangers that they did not know. They don't know their criminal history. They don't know if they have diseases, whatever the case may be. They don't have any clue. But you told New Yorkers, encouraged New Yorkers to open their doors to these people. You also housed them in tents, fully furnished, with microwaves, PlayStation 4s, I believe it was, and cable television. Do y'all remember that? Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, did this. Now this Negro wants to cry, "Woe is me," because it's draining New York's resources. And New Yorkers are pissed off. He wants to cry, "Woe is me." No, bruh, you encourage. You encourage this foolishness. Yeah, the Biden administration holds some responsibility too. I get it. But mainly you do because you encouraged it. You didn't have to do this. You could have said, no, not here. Take them somewhere else, not here. But you didn't. So take your medicine and suck it up. Suck it up, Buttercup. Take your medicine. Take it. It is what it is, bro. You encouraged it. So now you're dealing with the consequences. So like I said, suck it up. You know, you can't cry woe is me when you um welcome your own demise, so to speak. But this goes to show you that this is what the Democrats are doing. Now, Kamala Harris, do y'all remember what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago? She was at a picnic where she was the guest of honor, a picnic where they were honoring the 50th anniversary of hip hop. She was the guest of honor. She took photos with Dougie Doug. I mean, excuse me, Dougie Doug, with Dougie Fresh, and her husband name is Doug. She said, "Oh, I have two Dougs now," whatever. And she was fake. She was dancing, her dumbass dancing. And see, this is what they do. This is what the Democrats are doing. Hook, line, and sinker, and black people are falling for it. They're pandering because they know they could get away with it. They know they could get away with it. They're pandering to black people. Chucks and pearls, fried chicken with hot sauce, listen to Tupac while smoking weed, rocking Tim's, eating collard greens, Bill Clinton playing his saxophone on Arsenio Hall show 31 years ago. How many of y'all remember that? I do. And because they could get away with it. This is why they do it. Because black people fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. They fall for it, hook, line, and sinker every damn time. They know they could get away with it. Oh, just tell the niggers that you rock Tim's, that you like Atomic Dog, that you wear Chucks and pearls, you eat collard greens, you listen to bootleg Too Short tapes while you rode in your Cadillac with one of your friends, because all they care about is rap music and Tim's and collard greens and fried chicken and this and that. That is pandering, and they get away with it. And far too many of our people allow it. They don't check it. But then they want to sit up here and tell you, want to get mad, we don't want to vote blue. They can't understand why. Make it make sense. Please make it make sense. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications when I do videos on here. But they can't understand why. They cannot understand why we say some of us are like, the Democrats could get both middle fingers and the Bozak. I'm not voting for them. I'm not voting for the Republicans either. But you can see their bullshit a mile away. But it's the Democrats that come, like they're your friends. They say they have good intentions, but they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Malcolm warned us about the liberals 60 years ago, over 60 years ago. He warned us, and we have not heeded his warning. We haven't. We keep falling for their BS. Could you imagine, and I said this in my video last week, over 1,900 of you viewed it, and it got me 38 new subscribers, and I thank y'all for that. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all to those who viewed it. I really appreciate the love and support. Please, I thank you, and I don't take it for granted. I said this last week in my video. Could you imagine if Kamala Harris went to East LA, eating a taco, having a sombrero, and saying that she listens to mariachi music? Talking about some Odele Holmes, and in a lowrider. Could you imagine that? Would that go over well? Could you imagine if she went to Chinatown, whether it be in New York or over across from me in San Francisco? She had one of those hats that the Chinese used to wear when they came over here, or some of them still wear the round hats. Had chopsticks, was eating shrimp fried rice, and was saying "Yasa yasa aya yasa aya." Can y'all imagine that? Would that go over well? Or if she pandered to the Jewish community, well, her husband's Jewish, so that wouldn't have went over well. But yet she panders to us, and we just allow it. We allow these Democrats to just fool us every damn time. When is enough going to be enough? When? I mean, come on. When is enough going to be enough? When are we going to learn our lesson? When? What is it going to take? Does hell have to freeze over? Do pigs have to fly? My God. But yet they pander to us. We allow it. They brought Lil Wayne. He got access to the White House. This garbage, mumbling, rapping fool has access to the White House. Lil Weezy, not Dr. Boyce Watkins, not Dr. Claude Anderson, not Dr. Julianne Malvo, not Dr. Christina Parks. Blacks who are intellectuals, intellectuals who have degrees in economics and medicine. We know they're not going to give anyone from the Nation of Islam access to the White House. We already know that. But you have Black people who are intellectuals, degrees in medicine, engineering, economics, science. You won't give them access to the White House, but you'll give it to Lil Weezy to pander to us. Because we all know that's all Black people do is eat fried chicken and listen to rap music and rock Timbs. And this has gone on full blast since that I can remember since 92, when Bill Clinton, the first Black president, went on Arsenio Hall show, played a saxophone, and he blew Black people's mind. He blew their minds right out their head. And what happened 2 years later in 1994? What did the first Black president do? He built more prisons than any other president in US history. And who are the residents in those prisons? Black men. But hey, he's the very first Black president because he played a saxophone on the Arsenio Hall show. He told young people to rock the vote on MTV. Do y'all remember any of this? And who signed that 1994 crime bill? Y'all Uncle Joe. The cracker y'all call Uncle Joe. That ain't none of y'all damn uncle. He sent thousands of your sons, brothers, husbands, boyfriends, cousins to the gulags to die over minimal drug charges. One-time offense. Look it up. But these are our allies. With allies like this, we don't need enemies. We really don't. But yet, y'all still will vote these MFs in office again. Because we can't let Trump win. I don't give a damn about Donald Trump. He's a racist. Joe Biden is a racist. Republicans are racist. Democrats are racist. They two wings on the same bird, and that bird is white supremacy. Am I right or am I absolutely right? I don't want either. I'm voting for Black people. I'm voting for Allah. We have to stay on code, Black people. We have to. It behooves us now more than ever. We have to stay on code. We have to. Too many of us, this Democrat, Republican, we set tripping over this. And these crackers sitting back laughing at us. If you ain't blue, you must be red. If you ain't red, you must be blue. They don't give a damn about us. They don't want to give us reparations. They don't want to pass a anti-black federal hate crime bill, and they don't want to do a black economic recovery plan, similar to the Marshall Plan that rebuilt Western Europe after World War II, or the Point Four program that rebuilt Japan after World War II. They don't want to give us an economic plan to rebuild the black community. They don't want to give money to black businesses, small black businesses, or whatever. They just want you to go out and vote for them. Stand in long lines. When are we going to wake the hell up? What is it going to take? Damn it, enough is enough. What is it going to take? They put everyone before us. The LGBTQ plus IA community. Everybody before us. The very first black president, President Barack Obama, signed the Marriage Equality Act for the LGBTQ plus IA community. He did it the same week that he went to Charleston and sung Amazing Grace at the Emmanuel AME Church, which was the site of 9 of our brothers and sisters being senselessly murdered by a piece of shit skunk. I'm not going to say his name on here, but y'all know who he is. 9 of our brothers and sisters. And the only reason why that terrorist got the death penalty is because that pastor was a South Carolina state senator. And in America, in the United States, you cannot murder a politician. And you murder a politician in the United States, it's punishable by death. It's punishable by death if you murder a politician. That's the only reason. But he's still alive. But had that pastor not been a politician, it'd have been business as usual. Hell, it was a 24-hour manhunt. They found a cracker in the woods in North Carolina, and then they took him to Burger King. They put a bulletproof vest on him, and they took him to Burger King and bought him a Whopper. I'm not lying. You can look this up. You can look it up. They bought this terrorist cracker a Whopper from Burger King while he was wearing a bulletproof vest, after he led them on a 24-hour manhunt, after he senselessly murdered 9 brothers and sisters who prayed for his ass. That's the thanks that they got. And Obama, the very first black president, did not even petition, or even I shouldn't say petition, but even bring up the fact black people were murdered left and right after he got reelected. Left and right. Trayvon Martin, Eric Gardner, Alton Sterling, Philando Castile, Sandra Bland, Terrence Crutcher, Freddie Gray, Mike Brown. They were getting murdered left and right by terrorist white supremacists, by white supremacist terrorists, calling themselves the police. And Obama didn't do a damn thing about it. He did not go to Congress and ask them or hold the police departments accountable for killing black people. He did not hold these police departments accountable for killing us. He did not go to Congress and request an anti-black hate crime bill. He did not do it. Obama didn't do a damn thing for black people. Let me repeat myself. Obama did not do a damn thing for black people, but he did something for the LGBTQ plus IA community, signing the Marriage Equality Act. He did so much for them, excuse me, he did so much for them that Newsweek magazine had a picture of Obama with a halo around his head that was rainbow colored. And the title of the cover said, America's First Gay President. Do y'all remember that? Photo of Obama, rainbow colored halo around his head, America's first gay president. Am I lying? Or am I? If I'm lying, I'm flying. Do y'all remember this? And this happened the same week that those 9 brothers and sisters was murdered in that church, in that Emmanuel AME church, around that time in June of 2015. I will never forget it. He didn't do a damn thing for us. How can we forget Benghazi? How they just made Libya into a quagmire. It's a slave colony now. They went in there and they stole Libya's oil. They unjustly murdered Muammar Gaddafi. They created a coup. They had Muammar Gaddafi murdered, a man who would not kiss America's ass, nor the British, nor the French. He would not bow down to America and her allies. He wanted Africa to be under one currency, similar to Europe. He wanted African nations to unite against the West, to keep them out of their affairs. And they unjustly murdered this man. Muammar Gaddafi was a devout man. Great brother. He wanted to help black people around the world. You could look this up. He was going to give $1 billion to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan back in '96, but the Clinton administration 86'd it because they said, basically, we don't allow funding from terrorists. And that $1 billion was going to go to help the black community, help black businesses. This was back in 1996. $1 billion was a lot of money, and would have went a long way back then. But again, the Clinton administration, y'all first black president, 86 the deal. But Obama, the first black president, murdered a black man, murdered Muammar Gaddafi unjustly. What they did was wicked. They went into that country, murdered him, and tore it apart, like they did Saddam Hussein in Iraq. That's what America does. Countries that don't agree with her narrative or that of her allies, she go in there, stage a coup, say it's for democracy, topple the government, take the resources, kill the leader that's there, set in a puppet leader, and reap the resources. That's what she's done all around the world. Nicaragua with the Contras and Sandinistas. Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Cambodia, Vietnam. Set up puppet governments in Germany and Japan after World War II. That's why Germany and Japan are America's allies. They once were her enemies, now they're her allies. Funny how that happens, right? Pay attention. In the name of democracy. The Fall of America, the messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, wrote a book called The Fall of America 50 years ago in 1973, and it foretold a thing of America's fall. And this great empire, like the empire of Babylon, like Egypt, Babylon, the Roman Empire, the British Empire, they will fall. They have failed, and America will follow their lead and fall too. Because America is arrogant and she don't learn from history. She was a superpower, but like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan once said, America's not winning any more wars. Them days are over with. We are witnessing her fall before our very eyes. The dollar is weak. Just look around. Our infrastructure is crumbling. Have y'all seen the gas prices? Food is going up. There's a strike going on with the big three right now in Detroit, in the Midwest. You see what's going on in Hollywood. It's a strike in entertainment that's been going on for a few months now. Well, at least for what? At least what? 2 or 3 months now. Everything is just falling before our very eyes. But this is what happens when you don't do right by God. You have not repented for slavery. You have not even given us one red cent of reparations. We built this country, made America into a superpower. She became a superpower on our blood, sweat, tears, and on our backs. No other people built up America like Black people did. Other people came over here to freeload because they wanted freedom. Why didn't they fight for freedom over in Europe? Why didn't they fight for freedom over in the Asian countries or wherever the countries where they immigrated from? They came over here to freeload, like Dr. Claude Anderson said, to freeload. We were brought here against our will, and we built her up into a superpower. We fought in every battle and war America has had. We're the most patriotic, faithful, religious, God loving, forgiving people on the damn planet. And we can't receive 1 cent of reparations. We can't get an apology. America is falling right before our very eyes. She is falling, she is falling. And it's not pretty. And it's only going to get worse. Keep watching. Pay attention to the weather. Pay attention to the weather. We have a wildfire right now as I speak. I'm looking out my window. It's a haze of smoke because it's wildfires from Northern California. It's a haze of smoke over the hills of the area where I live at right now. All these wildfires, it's not a coincidence. The wildfires in Maui, the wildfires in Canada, the wildfires out here on the West Coast, the hurricanes in the Atlantic and in the Gulf of Mexico. Hell, it was a hurricane that hit Southern California last month in the Pacific in the summer. That had not happened in 84 years. And the time before that was what, 1850? Maybe 80 years before that. I think the 1850s. So pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to the weather. God is not to be mocked. So everything that America has reaped around the world, she's coming back and sowing it. She's sowing it big time. And every biblical, every religion, they speak of karma. They speak of it. They may not call it karma per se, but they speak of it. You can't do wrong and get by. And America, what she's done, the crime she's committed over the world is coming back to haunt her. And it's going to come back 10 times. Believe that. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications on the new videos on here. Black America, Black people, what's going on with us? There's a civil war now. You have foundational Black Americans, myself. I'm not warring with anybody, but a lot of foundational Black Americans are going to war with Pan-Africanists. Pan-Africanists believe that we should adopt African values, African traditions, and have a love for Mother Africa. And I agree with that. I go with that. However, what I don't agree with is a disrespect from Black people in the diaspora, whether it be the Caribbean, Central America, Africa, or Europe. It doesn't matter. I don't agree with the disrespect. By that, when I lived in Tampa, Florida for 8 years, I could bear witness to this, and I've said this, and many can bear witness to this as well. Black people from the Caribbean, Trinidad, Haiti, Jamaica, and African countries, Nigeria, Cameroon, not all of them, but many of them spoke ill of Black people, spoke disparagingly of Black people, especially Black women. We would check them. How the hell you have the gall to come over here and talk shit about us? You would not like it if we came to your country and talked about y'all. So why the hell are you doing it here? You akatas, you niggas are lazy. That's what the Africans call, some of the Africans call Black people, akatas. You're lazy. Your women are lazy. All you do is want to get welfare and be and make babies. I've heard them say this. I have bore witness to this. I'm not making this up. That's the disrespect that we won't tolerate. So I guess that means that, and there are many who said that we're making this up. That those from other parts of the diaspora, they don't say that about Black people, that they all love Black people. That is a damn lie. That is a God's damn lie. And I will call them out on it every time because, like I said, I have bore witness many times to the disrespectful and disparaging remarks that African immigrants, those from the Caribbean, have made about Black people and Black women, especially Black women. So that's what many of us have a problem with. That's what we go to war with. We will not tolerate the disrespect of our people, especially when you come over here and you come to why do y'all ask to stay where you came from? Why couldn't you better yourselves over there? Why come over here? And then to be so disrespectful and rude. That's what we have a problem with. We don't care where you come from. That bother us. If you're Caribbean and come here for a better life, okay, that's cool. Whatever. We're not against that. But what we against is the disrespect. And I'm not putting up with it. And many of those who are like me aren't putting up with it either. So I guess we're haters, and we're going to, and that we're considered haters, and we're going against those in other parts of the diaspora, and that's not true. That's not true at all. But there's that divide, just like it was in the '60s, with Malcolm followers and followers of the NOI. After Malcolm left the NOI, some followers from the NOI followed him. There were battles. I mean, street fights, literally. Brother Dr. Wesley Muhammad spoke of this. There were street fights between Malcolm followers and followers of the Nation of Islam. Street fights. People were getting stabbed, beat with billy with pipes and bats. It was ugly. I don't think anyone died, but it was ugly. And while this is going on, the white man is folding his arms and laughing, pointing, laughing. Look at these niggas. That was a bad time for the NOI, but they weathered the storm. I didn't agree with what Malcolm said about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I didn't agree with that. I didn't agree with how he left the Nation of Islam. Some of the things he said about the messenger, I didn't agree with that. I had a problem with it. But despite all that, I love Malcolm. Have a great love for Brother Malcolm. And did you know that Brother Malcolm was working his way back to coming back to the Nation of Islam? He asked for the messenger's forgiveness, his father, and was working his way to come back to the Nation of Islam. He wrote letters to the messenger. Unfortunately, Malcolm's life was cut short on February 21st, 1965, at the young age of 39, 3 months before his 40th birthday. Young man. Left a wife, Dr. Betty Shabazz, who passed away 26 years ago. May Allah be pleased with her. May Allah be pleased with Brother Malcolm. Yeah, I didn't agree with what he said about the messenger. Didn't agree with the way he left. Didn't agree with him going to the white media about the messenger. Didn't agree with that. Didn't agree with it at all. That was bad. But Malcolm saw the error of his ways and wanted the forgiveness of his father and wanted to come back to the nation and wrote letters stating that he was sorry and he wanted to come back. This is facts. They don't want to tell us that though. They want you to believe that Malcolm hated the NOI and the NOI hated Malcolm. That is a lie. That is a goddamn lie. Malcolm was the prodigal son that the Bible speaks of. The Bible speaks of the prodigal son. That was Malcolm. The prodigal son left his father. Malcolm left his father. But the prodigal son returned, and Malcolm was working his way back to his return. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to. And also, unfortunately, the letters that Malcolm wrote never made it to the messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Both are unfortunate circumstances. But the Nation of Islam weathered that storm. The reason why I got these glasses was because of Malcolm X. Real talk. Shout out to brother Demetric Muhammad out of Memphis for writing a book, But Didn't Y'all Kill Malcolm? It dispels all the myths and lies. It debunks all those lies and myths about who killed Malcolm and the Nation of Islam's involvement in it. He said in that book, you could love the messenger, Elijah Muhammad. You could love the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and you can love Brother Malcolm at the same time. You don't have to love one and hate the other, or love one and hate the other two, or what so have you. You can love them at the same time. The messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and Brother Malcolm. You can love them at the same time. Because little do y'all know, Brother Malcolm was the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's teacher. Of course, the messenger was all teacher, but under him was Brother Malcolm. He taught the minister. That was his teacher. Kind of like the minister taught the late great brother, Dr. Khaled. Iron sharpening iron, sharpening iron, sharpening iron. Each one teaching one. The Nation of Islam is a great example of that. Great, strong, phenomenal brothers and sisters. They create gods and goddesses. Those are your superheroes. I have much love for the Nation of Islam. Always have, always will. I don't care who has a problem with it. Get over it. There are things that you have love for that I may not agree with, but you still love it despite the way I feel. So if you have that right, I have the right to love the nation. I've seen what they've done in my community back in Detroit and around the country, around the world for that matter. I have much love and respect, always have and always will, for the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the messenger, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. But it was a divide there with the Tupac East Coast, West Coast beef in the 90s. That was similar to um, the Malcolm beef with the NOI. Similar situations, just 30 years later. That was in the 60s. The East Coast, West Coast beef was in the mid 90s. Between, and it was so generated by the record labels, by the media, and by two puppets, Suge Knight and Puffy, P. Diddy, Papa Diddy Pop, whatever the hell he call himself these days, Combs, or Puffy, whatever the hell. Them two puppets, Suge Knight and Puffy, P. Diddy, Diddy, Papa Diddy Pop. They were the pawns of white supremacy, the puppets. The record labels made billions off of the East Coast, West Coast beef. And unfortunately, we lost two great rappers, Tupac Shakur, the Notorious B.I.G. Two great MCs were murdered and was lost because of this ignorant East Coast, West Coast beef. West Coast rappers can go on the East Coast. East Coast rappers can go on the West Coast. Snoop and the Dog Pound almost lost their lives in New York. Do y'all remember this? They were shooting that dumbass video, New York, New York, and Biggie made the call to his homies in Brooklyn, and they sprayed that video shoot. Snoop and the Dog Pound almost lost their lives for doing something stupid. Why would you go to New York and do a video you kicking the skyscrapers? Why would you do that? Why? You already adding fuel to a raging inferno. Why would you do that? Not saying what Biggie did was right. It wasn't right. But why go out there and do that? Didn't make sense. Big goes to LA for an award show, whatever, doesn't come back alive. Hip hop kind of weathered the storm, when Pac got murdered? Because a lot of people saw that coming when he made that dumbass song, the worst song in hip hop, Hit 'Em Up. A lot of people saw that coming, especially a lot of older hip hop heads. They saw it coming. Still was a blow to us. That was 27 years ago, just last week. We weathered that storm, kind of, sort of. We was able to steer the ship. It was a blow, but we was able to steer the ship of hip hop. But when Biggie was murdered 6 months later in March of 97, on March 9th, 1997, that was the iceberg that sunk hip hop's ship. Or yeah, that was the iceberg. If hip hop was a Titanic, Biggie's murder was the iceberg to sink it. It was the iceberg to sink it. Biggie's murder. God bless KRS-One, Wu-Tang Clan, the Lost Boys, Rakim for coming back from a 5-year hiatus, coming back and trying to right the ship again, trying to get the ship back on course, trying to fix the blow, trying to repair the ship. God bless them, but the damage had already been done. The damage had already been done. And look where we're at now in hip hop. Black people, we have too many divisions. We have black men and black women going at each other. Too many war. It's too much division. Black women are the most educated women in America. They're doing well in corporate America. They're getting educating. They're getting their education at higher level than Asians and white people. Black women are. Look it up. They're doing a damn thing, and I salute them. White supremacy sees this and they use it for evil. Oh, black woman, you getting your education, you're moving up the corporate ladder in white America. You don't need the black man. The black man is holding you back. That's what they're being taught. And not all, but far too many of our sisters are falling for this bullshit, hook, line, and sinker. I don't need a man. I could do well all by myself. I don't need a man. I don't need a man for nothing. A man can't do nothing for me. I don't need a man. How are you supposed to have a family? Two women can't produce a baby. I don't care what they say, the science say, that is absolute nonsense. Two people of the same gender cannot produce a child. I'm going to say that again. Two people from the same gender cannot produce a child. They cannot do it. I know they did it with a frog, two male frogs, and they produced a tadpole, but two humans of the same gender cannot produce a child. It's nonsense. Stop it. But black women, far too many of our black women are falling for this hook, line, and sinker. They've fallen for it. I don't need a man. I could do well all by myself. A man can't do it's for me. I got my degree. I'm moving up the corporate ladder. That's good and all, but what happens when all that's gone? Hmm? The same people, maybe mainly the feminists, who are telling you this bullshit, they're not leaving their families. They're not leaving their households, but they want you to leave yours. They're not abandoning their man, but they want you to abandon yours. And it's a divide between a black man and a black woman. And it hurts me to see that because we cannot afford a civil war. We already have We already fight white supremacy 24/7. We don't need any more enemies. And we're so quick to align with other communities, fight their fight, help them fight their fight when we're in shambles. That's just like your house being on fire, your house is a raging inferno. You leave your house to help your neighbor down the street fight a garbage fire, a small garbage fire. Your house is burning down, a raging inferno, but you're going down the street to help your neighbor fight a garbage fire, a small garbage fire. Make it make sense. The fact that Black people are warring with each other over difference of opinion is oh, it's mind-numbingly. It irritates me to no end. It irritates my soul. It irritates my spirit because you don't want to support your fellow brother and sister because they have a difference of opinion, because y'all don't align on certain things. Well, that he didn't vote Democrat. I ain't gonna support that nigga. I'm not gonna support his business. Family members are doing this. I'm going through it right now for having a difference of opinion. We are all entitled to our opinions. I say on here before closing, let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Let's do that. But far too many of us can't. We can't stay on code. Other communities, they don't agree on everything. White people don't agree with each other on everything, but they do agree when it comes to going against other communities or standing by their own. They do it. They stay on code. Same with Asians, same with Hispanics, everybody but Black people. We're so quick to integrate and align with other people, but we won't even integrate within ourselves. Where does that make sense at? Make that make sense. So quick to integrate with other communities, other groups, but we won't even integrate within ourselves. We want to integrate in our families. And it's hurtful and it's painful to say it because I'm going through it right now. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up and down. Hit the subscribe button so you get notifications when I do videos on here. Give me 1 second. Turn this light on. But yeah, I'm back. So it's just hurtful. It's hurtful and it's disheartening because I'm going through it. I know some of you are going through it as well, and it's not right. It's absurd. And all of this, if you ain't blue, then you must be red. If you ain't red, you must be blue. You have Black people set tripping over these political parties. Black people are literally set tripping. I'm blue. I'm Democrat. Vote blue no matter who. Well, I'm red. I'm red no matter what. If you ain't red, you dead. Why y'all set tripping? These crackers don't give a goddamn about y'all. They're sitting back laughing. They're laughing because they see how foolish you look. They see how foolish y'all look. No other people does this but Black people. And it pains me to say it, but it has to be said, damn it, because it's the truth. It's the truth. And it's just a sad state of affairs. It's a sad state of affairs. We cannot afford ill afford. We cannot afford to be at war with each other. Not now. Now is not the time. I'm not saying we have to agree on everything. We don't even have to like one another. Love, yes. Like, no. Other races don't like each other, but they stick together and they have love for each other and they have each other's back. We have to have love and have each other's back. You're going to have some that you can't agree with. You're going to have some that you can't deal with. Love them and leave them alone. Love them. God bless them. More power to them and leave them alone. There are those people. I just had that last month. Dude I thought was my brother. He fooled me twice. So that was on me. I don't hate him, but hey, gotta go. You do your thing. I can't rock with you, bro. We're done because you want to sit up here and talk about you're a fence straddler. You want to talk about white supremacy, but you're with white supremacy. How does that work? How does that work? Sleeping with the enemy, a monkey lipped, old ass enemy. Hey, truth got to be told. But like I said, we can't afford to have enemies in the among. We cannot afford to not be enemies among ourselves. We have too much at stake. Too much at stake. There's death upon us on a daily basis. You turn on the TV, death. You turn on the radio, death. You go to the supermarket, death. You go out the door, see these fast food restaurants, death, death, death. School, our kids going to these schools, death. School to prison pipeline, which equals death. Can't go to church. Can't go to some of these mosques. Can't go to some of these churches. They preaching death. So it's like go to work, stressing out. That's death. We have death among us 24/7. I stopped eating um, Hillshire Farm, Hillshire Farms turkey meat. It's highly processed. Oscar Mayer turkey meat is highly processed. I stopped eating it. So what I do, I go to the store and I get the turkey from the deli. Not from lunch meat, the turkey from the deli, actual turkey meat. These cereals that our kids are eating, they're high in fructose syrup. All these artificial flavors. That's death. These sodas are not healthy. Chemicals. Look at what they're putting in our food. That's death, 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 and death. Death and destruction. We got death all around us. High fructose syrup is not good. Artificial flavoring, all that food dyeing, coloring, that's not good. That stuff is toxic and it's causing cancers. I can't remember black people ever being this unhealthy now than ever since we've been here. More black people are more unhealthy now than ever before with all this garbage we're eating. I know I'm not the perfect picture of health. I know that. I never said I was. I'm working on it. I worked out today. Probably work out again tonight. I know I'm not the picture of health. I understand this and I know this. I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress. Many of you all too. But we have to promote healthy eating in our community amongst ourselves. We have to. Speaking of death, did y'all see that McDonald's have their double cheeseburgers for 50 cents this week. And then Wendy's topped that and said you could get their cheeseburger or whatever the hell for a penny. However, you have to buy something else with it. So you get the cheeseburger with the penny, but you have to buy like some fries or a drink or something like that, or a meal or something, I suppose. That's death right there. So now they encourage you to eat death at a cheaper price than normal for a limited time only. Next week it'll be business as usual. You could kill yourself for the normal prices. This is not good and it shouldn't be encouraged. From a marketing standpoint, it makes sense. It's genius. Yeah, I get it. From a marketing standpoint, a business standpoint. But from a health-wise standpoint, it's death. They're marketing death. Just cheaper now this week than they would normally. And people are like, oh, I gotta go to McDonald's, get the 50-cent double cheeseburgers. I go to Wendy's and get my penny cheeseburger. Unbelievable. Death, 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 death. When are we gonna learn? What is it gonna take? Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications of when I do videos on here. Hip hop. I just found out about this young lady maybe last week, 2 weeks ago. Sexy Red. She's from St. Louis, I guess. She's 25 years old. She was at the VMAs, the MTV VMAs last week, and the child can't read. She couldn't read the teleprompter. This is what's being encouraged to our children: ignorance and illiteracy. They asked this young lady, Dr. Boyce Watkins, um, shared a tweet on X where someone asked her, was it the most romantic thing or the most thoughtful thing someone has done for you? She said when she was a teenager, her boyfriend stole a $13 item for her, gave it to her as a present, and that he didn't have to do it, and it showed that he cared and loved her. He committed a crime. This is what's being encouraged. This is the stupidity that's being encouraged to our young people. This is what hip hop has become. After the deaths of Pac and Big, hip hop, it died. It died on March 9th, officially. It died on March 9th, 1997. Like I said, God bless Wu-Tang Clan. God bless Rakim. God bless the Lost Boys. God bless KRS-One, Big Pun, DMX, Redman, and so many others. God bless them. Goody Mob, Outkast. God bless them. Even Jay-Z, even him at that time. They tried to right the ship, but the damage was already done to the ship. It had already sunk. They tried to repair her and set her out to sail, but the ship of hip hop had already been damaged beyond repair, irreplaceable, unfortunately. And this is where we're at now, where the Cardi B's, the Lil Nas X's, the Sexy Reds, the Futures, this is the toxic shit that our kids are listening to now. Hip hop has become trash. It's become garbage. It's become a tool of white supremacy. It's no coincidence that a lot of hip hop artists are now encouraging Black people to vote for the Democrats. It's no coincidence that a lot of hip hop artists 3 years ago were encouraging our community to get the jab. It's no coincidence that they're lining up and being in bed with white supremacy. Not a coincidence. I'm from the era when hip hop artists hated politicians. It didn't matter whether they were Republican or Democrat, and they hated the police. I'm from that era of hip hop. They kind of still hate the police, but only when a black man is being murdered by a white cop. They scream Black Lives Matter, but only when a black man is murdered by a white cop. But they're aligned with these politicians. Lil Weezy is aligned, like I mentioned earlier, Lil Weezy is aligned with the Biden administration. That tattooed buffoon, that Sambo nigga is aligned with the Biden administration. When I was coming up, politicians, Lord. When I was coming up, rap artists wouldn't dare be aligned with the Democrats. You would not dare see Sister Soldier being aligned with the Clinton administration. Ice T, Ice Cube, Public Enemy, X Clan, KRS One, Brand Nubian, Poor Righteous Teachers. None of them was aligned with that. None of them. NWA. I said Public Enemy. Boogie Down Productions. They weren't trying to be seen nowhere with politicians. They hated politicians and they hated the police, and rightfully so. Yeah, they're a bunch of sellouts. Thank you for that, brilliant. Thank you. I'm doing the best I can, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Peace and blessings. Yeah, there are a bunch of sellouts. Great. That's a great point. A bunch of sellouts because they sold us out for a bag of goods. They sold hip hop out. They sold us out for what? It's no coincidence that this is happening. Almost 30 years after the deaths of Pac and Big, they're rolling over in their graves right now. Then, 2 years after Big's murder, Big L and Freaky Tah murdered, 2 months apart in 1999. Do y'all remember that? Freaky Tah was murdered in Queens. No, I'm sorry. Big L was murdered in Harlem, and Freaky Tah was murdered in Queens in their own neighborhoods. Inside jobs. People that murdered them knew them. We got robbed. We got cheated out of great music. We got robbed. And I would never forgive Suge Knight or Papa Diddy Pop, P. Diddy, Diddy Pitty, Diddy Pitty, Puff Daddy, whatever the hell they call himself these days. It's unforgivable what they did. Two great MCs gone within 6 months. And like I said, hip hop officially died on March 9th, 1997, the night that Big was murdered. And this is where we're at with hip hop now. The Sexy Reds, the Cardi B's, telling our young girls to pop that, that WAP. I'm not gonna say it on here, but y'all know what WAP is. WAP, the toxicity that they're putting out, the debauchery and the buffoonery and coonery that they're promoting to our young people. Future, the drug use that baby making coon, the music that he's making, promoting to our young people. This is where we're at now. Lil Nas X, that debauchery, that foolishness. It's one thing, okay, you're gay, you're gay. Okay, cool, cool. Do you. More power to you. But to promote that to our young men and to throw it out there in our face, that's a problem. That is a problem. I have a huge problem with that. I could care less if you're gay. You gay, fine. Do you. But don't throw it in our face. Don't encourage it to our young people. Let them decide what they want to be. Just this is what hip hop, this is where hip hop has gone now. This is where it has gone. And it's sad, and it's only going to get worse. We have a rapper who can't read now. Rappers encourage us to be proud to be black. Be proud of Mother Africa. We had the African medallions. Y'all remember that? Who remember the African medallions back in the late 80s? Be proud to be black. X-Clan. They were spitting knowledge to us. But now stupidity and ignorance is being encouraged. Drug use, promiscuity. All this is being encouraged. And it's no, like I said, it's no coincidence that rappers now are friends with the politicians. It's no coincidence. White supremacists love white supremacists. Birds of a feather flock together. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down. Hit the subscribe button so you get notifications when we do videos on here. I think I touched on everything that I wanted to speak on. Sorry that I'm coming late, but I had to redo this video because, like I said, I got unexpectedly interrupted earlier. Unexpectedly interrupted earlier. So that's why I'm doing this video again. So forgive me for that. But I'm gonna wrap this up. Like I said, I think I touched on everything I wanted to speak on. Share this video, share this video, share it, share it, share it, share it, share it. Let's have a conversation, an adult conversation, where we use logic and reasoning and not emotion. Thank you. I will be blessed, and I will definitely stay prayed up. Thank you very much. But like I said, let's use logic and reasoning instead of emotion. We could disagree, but let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Please, let's do that, y'all, especially on topics such as this. What's good, God? What's good, God? How you doing, black man? Good to see you on here. That's my brother right there. Me and him spoke last night, earlier this morning. That's my guy, right? That's my brother. That's my brother. But yeah, let's do that, y'all. Agree to disagree without being disagreeable, especially on topics such as this. And in our disagreements, all I ask is that we use logic and reasoning and not emotion. Let's do that, black people. Please, let's do that. Stay safe out here, whether you're going to work, leaving work, dropping the kids off at school, picking them up, running errands, wherever the case may be. Brothers as well as sisters, y'all be safe out here, man. Y'all be safe. This devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy now more than ever before. So beware and be aware. Beware and be aware. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, stay prayed up. But when you stay prayed up, find solutions and plan up to. Defend yourselves by any means necessary, especially against this devil. Again, defend yourselves by any means necessary. Like Brother Malcolm told us years ago, against this devil. So with that in mind, just stay safe. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate it. It's greatly appreciated. I can't do these without you. So thank you for the love and support. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you immensely. Please continue it. Until next time, y'all take care. Much love and peace and blessings. All right, now, y'all take care. I love y'all. I'm out. Jack.